Hello and happy Monday. Welcome to this episode of the Mum Boss Method podcast. You are joining me today for a Mum Boss at Home community check-in. This is where the ladies within my community all fill in a check-in form, and that has their wins, their challenges, their questions, what they need help with, and this is their opportunity to get my coaching help every week, and I record it and send it out as a podcast, so you lucky lot get to listen to it too. So let's jump straight in. I've challenged myself to under an hour podcasting today, because I want to make sure I get finished at a certain time so I can help my son with his revision for his exams this week. So let's just go through the wins then. So I'm hoping that this person is okay with me reading this out, because they have put it in the wins and not asked me to keep them anonymous. But Laura is saying that her biggest win from this week is that the scales have moved. She knows she shouldn't focus on this alone, but she's pleased they have. So I'm just going to answer this first, right? Because we have been talking a lot about the scales and how we don't want them to be a focus, and particularly for those of you, whether you're in the community or not, that have come from very restrictive, very scale and weight focused diets in the past, that this is a really dangerous place to be. Absolutely, I want you to be losing body fat. I want you to be building lean muscle. I want you to be changing your body composition. I want to see over time that your measurements, your weight, how you're feeling, that all improves. But I want to be really careful, particularly if you have come from really restrictive diet plans in the past, about the focus that we put on the scales. And Laura knows, because I've sent her a little private message, which has made her laugh. And I've called her out a little bit on this. So to keep Laura accountable, and anyone else that is obsessing about the scales, Laura has been banned from the scales for 30 days. So she is not allowed to weigh herself for 30 days. She just has to focus on ticking the boxes. Now, that might be appropriate for some others of you in this group, or if you're just listening because you enjoy the sound of my voice and the advice that I give, welcome to you as well. So we're going to just focus on Laura ticking the boxes as consistently as she can. She's not going to weigh for a month. I've told her I will know if she does. And we're going to see how she gets on. And now everyone in the community and other people know Laura, so you got to stay accountable to that now. She also noticed that she was a bit faster running this week, which is amazing. I know how much she loves running, so that's really important. And colleagues at work noticed the difference, saying she was looking great and she's feeling more confident in her clothes. Now, we obviously don't do this for other people. I'm super chuffed that you're feeling confident in your clothes, and it is nice to hear other people telling you that they're noticing a difference and you look great. Amazing. Stacey has taken more time for herself, doing things that benefit her, and she's been much more productive for it. Sleep's been a bit of a challenge, but taking that time has meant she's been able to manage the negative impacts better. Amazing, Stacey. I actually just want to add in that I did similar last week. So I was on a hen do last weekend. I didn't sleep particularly well. May have had a slight hangover on the Sunday as well. And I do find that I suffer from that for a couple of days, particularly the lack of sleep. I suffer for a couple of days. And as I've probably talked about numerous times, I'm one of these people that it doesn't really matter what time I go to bed. The latest you're going to see me sleeping until is 6:30 a.m. So having a lie-in is just not an option for me. It just doesn't work. But instead of And also, if I then go to bed a lot earlier, so I went to bed at 8 o'clock because I was knackered, I'd probably wake up at 4. It's just not worth it. Excuse me, hiccups. I just had the most gorgeous sriracha pop chips, but they were quite spicy and they've given me hiccups. So yeah, going to bed earlier doesn't serve me any well. I wouldn't get any more sleep than normal, and I'd probably just lie in bed frustrated for an hour at 4 a.m. in the morning. So last week, what I focused on was doing some of those me things that I don't normally make time for, and I'm also doing that this evening, which is also another reason I want to make sure that I finish work on time, because my husband woke me up snoring at 4:30 this morning. So yeah, I'm with you on that. You know, it helps you to manage the negative impacts when you do a bit more self-care. Lisa tracked almost every day. So I just want to ask Lisa, what stopped you tracking every day? What got in your way of tracking every day? She did boot camp on Sunday and she loved it. She did her bedtime meditation every night and she's really starting to feel more emotionally resilient. Well done, Lisa. Okay, so Hannah took control in what was a really hard week to plan unusual last minute variables. She reframed and refocused on what she could do, and that meant she was prioritising and working out what needed to be compromised on. Whilst she missed a couple of things she had planned and left early from another social event, she was also assertive with work, and it felt great to take control and give herself the space to focus on the things that she couldn't compromise on and to get herself in a good place for the week ahead. Well done, Hannah. Claire managed to eat well and exercise even though work is stressful and she had a cold. Tish ran 5k on Sunday. Well done, Tish. Jackie maintained healthy eating and exercise. Well done. Jack's been out for a couple of runs this week. She enjoyed a meal with colleagues and didn't stuff all of the food and left some because she was full. Well done. Steph ran her first ever 10k on Tuesday. Well done, Steph. And bought herself a new pair of jeans, which were a size smaller. Amazing. Sophie weighed in for the first time in 4 weeks and is down 2 kilograms. See, amazing what happens if we don't focus on the number. Well done. Slow and steady, but she's happy with that. Amazing. Amazing, Sophie. I'm really happy for you. Louisa started to up her steps again and started again with her PT after being ill. Janet says she hasn't put on weight, so Janet's had a really stressful time with work. Emma has lost weight without tracking or working out, and now she's been tracking now that she's been tracking and active for so long, it's coming naturally. Well done, Emma. Okay, let's just go over some of the questions and challenges then. So a couple of days I felt hungry and ate a few calories over, like 20 or 30 calories, and had a couple of treats. Like my son made homemade cakes. And then I was hungry because not enough calories left for good food later in the day. This person goes on to say, this is their question associated with that. For those days when I'm 20 calories over and I'm a bit under protein, am I better to eat a protein bar and get more protein but fewer calories over, or do without it? So what she's saying is she better to go over her calories to hit her protein, or stay under calories and not hit protein? Okay. And then you've put, I can easily do without the food, but I would probably feel hungry. Then I'm worried I'll go back into that kind of starving myself thinking, hoping this makes sense. So I want to break this down a little bit, and this is for everyone. 20 calories over is nothing. So I want everyone to just assume that their maintenance calories is 2,000 calories. If you ate 2,000 calories, you would roughly stay as you are over time, right? From day to day, it might fluctuate because the scales fluctuate, as we know. But if you, as a baseline, your maintenance is 2,000 calories, okay? Let's say you're a smaller woman like me and you're quite active, and I've given you a calorie range of 14 to 1600. Okay, that means that you can eat between 1400 and 1600 every day, and that is your allowance for the week. So some days you could eat 1400, some days you could eat 1600. It's an average across the week. And what I'm giving you is roughly a 500 calorie deficit, okay? Because if we average it out across the week, it will be roughly 1500 calories a day, give or take. And then that's putting you in a 500 calorie deficit. So even on the days when you eat 1620, 1630, you are still in a calorie deficit. Just a 470 calorie deficit. 30 calories is nothing. It's not even half a digestive biscuit. Okay. But the thing is, because you have a range, and there are some days you might not be eating up to your 1600 calories. Maybe you had 1550, or maybe you had 1475. That evens itself out. But the bottom line is 1620 or 1630 calories is still a deficit. That is not going over. Okay. If you were constantly going 100, 200 calories over your 2000 maintenance, you would start gaining weight, or body fat. However, being at 1620 or 1630, you are still in a deficit. You would still be in a deficit for the whole week. You could on a Friday night, and in fact, I've seen examples over the last couple of weeks of where this person has, you could eat, you could go over one night 2,200 calories, but if you'd stuck to 1,600 for the rest of the week, or even 1,620 for the rest of the week, on average for that week, you would be in a calorie deficit. So please don't sweat 20 or 30 calories. Chill. Okay. Now, with regards to not hitting protein, I'm going to talk really generally, and then I'm going to speak specifically about this person because I've looked at their food tracking. Okay. So calories are king when you are trying to lose body fat. Okay. So let's stick with the same numbers. If 2000 is your maintenance, and I've given you a range of 14 to 1600. Okay. Those calories are king. So being in a calorie deficit for the whole week, across the week, which could mean that one day you ate 2000 or 2200, is what is going to produce fat loss, which is what we want, not weight loss, fat loss. Okay, you will reduce your body fat if you are in a calorie deficit on average across that week, across time, because because calories are king. However, if you did that whilst only eating, say, 30 grams of protein per day, you would probably find yourself very hungry. You would also not be doing yourself any favours in terms of your workouts and maintaining lean muscle mass, which is important for your body composition and for you looking toned and healthy and fit. Okay, so that calorie range gives you the flexibility. The calories are king, right? Now, there are some people in this group who have a slightly lower protein target than the rest of you because they are plant-based. That was Henry having a moan. They are plant-based, they are vegan, okay? So therefore, it is harder for them to hit 100 grams of protein per day without them eating really, really over-processed food, okay, which they don't want to do, which I completely respect as an ex-vegan. But for the rest of you, your absolute minimum protein you should be eating is 100 grams per day, okay? So you should be hitting this, if you are not vegan, at least your absolute minimum is 100 grams of protein per day. Now, in EverFit, your calories and your protein target have been set in accordance with your goals. So your absolute minimum is 100 grams of protein a day, but many of you've been given, a preferred target of about 120 grams per day, not calories, 120 grams of protein per day. And that is what you should be aiming for. If you don't hit that, it's fine. You might find yourself more hungry. If you hit, so let's say, one of the things that I do in EverFit is I might tell you that your protein range is like 100 to 120, but you could go up to 150. That doesn't mean you have to hit 150. It means that, the minimum is 100 grams. I'd like you to get to 120. Now, this person is specifically hitting at least 120 grams a day. I've seen that in your diary. So looking at the food that you've eaten on those days where you've gone over 1600, which isn't a problem, you have included like a protein bar. Now, knowing what you eat and having a look at the pictures that you post in EverFit of your food, if you're hungry, your protein levels are great. They're great. You don't need to worry about your protein levels. What I think you need to do more of is more fibrous vegetables and fruit. So salad is great, and this is for everyone. Salad is great, but it's not particularly filling, okay, unless you are having an absolute ton of it, okay, because it is mainly water. So there's not a huge amount of it. It's great for, like, if you're having a big salad, but one of the things that I notice in this person's diary in particular is a lack of carbs. Okay. And I know that we spoke about this in the beginning, and I can see that you are eating some carbs, but for example, a stir fry without rice or noodles, just a big salad with no, you could put some rice, you could put some like baked cubed up potatoes in there, a bit of pasta, some kind of grain in there. And so I feel like what you're doing is you're relying on a lot of protein, lots of salad, but what I want to see is more fibrous veg and more carbs. There is no reason why you can't eat carbs with every single meal. I do. I encourage that. There is no reason to be scared of carbohydrates. So my suggestion for you is that you look at trying to get more veggies. The salad is great, but adding more veggies, more fruit, and some carbs into every meal. Okay, because I think that's why you might be getting hungry. Your protein levels are fine, but if you think about it, eating a whole bowl full of, stir-fried chicken, that's really dense and really heavy, right? And takes a lot of chewing. And yes, it will fill you up, versus a big bowl of spinach and lettuce and tomatoes versus a bowl of veggies like carrots and broccoli and cauliflower and stuff like that, right? I want the fibrous veggies in there as well. So yep, the protein, you're hitting that, it's great. The salad, you're going to eat that. It is mainly water. It is not going to fill you up. Yes, include it, but I also want to see you getting the veggies in, and I want to see you getting the carbs in. So in answer to your question, high level, calories are king. We always want to make sure, if fat loss is our goal, that we are trying to keep to our calorie deficit, but going 20 or 30 calories over is fine. Protein is queen, so that will keep you full. However, your food choices are really important, and making sure you are getting fruit, veggies, fibre and carbs into your diet is also really important. And I think that might be why you are feeling a bit hungry. Okay, on to the next one. So you may be able to hear my stomach rumbling, because it just is. Okay, right, this person has said, I've planned in 2 home workouts and a boot camp at the weekend. Is there anything I can do to overcome the aching muscles after this, as it's usually a reason I don't stick at it? I've talked about this before, moving more. And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that I'm just grinning at the camera. So you've nailed this already. Aching muscles is the reason I don't usually stick to it. And that's the reason you get aching muscles. This is like a catch-22 situation. So absolutely, I want you to work out. I want you to stay hydrated. I want you to eat your protein. If you're aching today or tomorrow, I want you to get out for a walk. I want you to do your workouts. But if you just stop and don't do anything until next Sunday, you are going to repeat this cycle. You need to keep moving. You need to keep consistent. Okay. So just wanted to read this out. So I haven't made any excuses this week. I guess picking 2 non-negotiables and allowing myself to not focus on the other habits due to a really busy week could be an excuse. But I believe that allowing myself this helped me succeed, which has put me in a better mindset for the week ahead. And actually, by sticking to just protein and steps, I found myself hitting some of the other goals along the way too. So this is a really good example. I need a sip of water. This is a really good example of where you focusing on ticking the boxes and keeping things really simple is the best way of making this stick. So rather than trying to do everything, not being able to do everything and then feeling like a failure over and over and over again and constantly needing to reset, focusing on a couple of things is always going to be a better way of moving forward than trying to overcomplicate it. Always, always, always. So this person stuck to protein and steps and has ended up ticking off other boxes as well, which is amazing. So this is for everyone. Stop trying to overcomplicate it and just try and tick off a couple of basics. And that advice kind of leads into the next question. I just need a bit of a kick up the bum to get back to that place where I felt so motivated in the beginning. Okay, so first thing is motivation is unreliable. So you need to stop relying on it because it's not going to show up when you want it to, particularly when you want it to, and you need to take action instead. So you said in an earlier part of the check-in that you still feel like you're on holiday mode and that you keep telling yourself you'll get back to it again on Monday. You'll get back to it again on Monday. So today is Monday. What are you going to do differently this week that you didn't do last week? How have you started the week already to make sure that you don't do the same again for next week? And then remind yourself of why you're doing this, of why your goals are important to you, of how your life will be different when you're fitter, healthier and stronger. Okay. And then make a plan for the next 3 days. Stick to some of the basic non-negotiables like I've just spoken about. Maybe for you in particular, it would be tracking everything, steps, and then 3 workouts. Stick to your plan, your basic non-negotiables for 3 days, and then go again. Is there another thing you want to add in, or do you just want to stick with those non-negotiables and then next week add in something? And don't give yourself any excuses. Make it really simple to achieve. Plan in how you're going to do it, and then just do it. and stop waiting for that motivation to come and hit you up the bum, because it's not going to. It's really just not going to. Okay. And then someone else had said, where was it? It was here. I need my arse kicking. I'm struggling with mojo after being ill. It's been hard to get back on track. I was doing so well before. The same advice goes to you. Okay. Pick 2 or 3 non-negotiables that will make the most difference to you. Make a plan for how you're going to achieve those in the next 3 days, and do them without excuses. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with that one. Okay, so someone asked, any favourite summer dinners? We'll check in Everfit too. Ladies, these questions are best for the WhatsApp group, for people to share their summer dinners. So we eat similar meals in this house, whether it's winter or summer, but it's just a chili or a bolognese becomes like a homemade burger. And I don't know, a chicken curry becomes something like, you know, a flavoured grilled chicken with salad and rice, because that's what I know works. I can cook those really quickly and easily, and I don't have to worry. There are some good recipes in Everfit. BBC Good Food is also incredible. It has so many good recipes on there. And asking the WhatsApp group. Things that I am loving at the moment though is something called Marry Me Chicken. Absolutely love it. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a summer dish because we ate it hot, but you could eat it with like rice and salad. And then I love a naked burger, because I find the bread of a burger bun just really makes me feel bloated. A naked burger with homemade air fried chips and homemade coleslaw. Yum. Okay, let's go. Okay, couple of little excuses to pull out here. So I should have done another weighted workout from Everfit at least, but I told myself I didn't have time when I 100% could have made the time. So here's the thing. We tell ourselves that we don't have the time when we can't really be bothered to do it. You're not always going to feel bothered to do everything. I love working out with you ladies on a Monday and a Friday. Let me tell you, sometimes it's the last thing I want to get up and do if I'm tired. Particularly when it comes to a Friday when I've been teaching boot camp on a Thursday night. Sometimes I really wish I could just stay in bed. But I show up and do it because 1, it's my job, but 2, it's also my workout for a Friday as well. So, what would it have required for you to do an extra Everfit, half an hour extra Everfit workout, getting up half an hour earlier one other day of the week? You could absolutely have done that, right? So have a little think about that. So a few of you struggling with sleep, right? And it's been a mixture of children and stress. I know for me, I don't know about anyone else, the lighter mornings mean I need to wear my eye mask now, because we're sleeping with the blinds open and the window open because we're in the roof of the house, so it's really warm up there. So I need to wear my eye mask. If I knock that off in the middle of the night, which sometimes happens, then I'm awake super early. So be aware of what is maybe waking you up. What can you do to stop that? I mean, I always say if I could sort out your kids sleeping, wouldn't life be amazing for all of us? But be aware for you what poor sleep's likely going to mean. It's likely going to mean you're hungrier, you're craving carbs and sweet food. So what can you put in place on those days to make sure that you're meeting your needs? Okay, so think about your food volume. So think about making sure you're getting in loads of fruit and veggies in with your protein and your carbs as well, to really give you a really full up lunch or dinner or both. Think about the times of day you're most likely to dip in energy when you haven't had much sleep. So for me, it's between 3 and 4. It might be, between 5 and 6 or 6:30 when you're cooking the dinner, and you might pick. Make sure that you've got some snacks planned in that you can have at certain times that you can really look forward to, and also getting out for an afternoon walk when you're tired. But being aware of what that lack of sleep does for you specifically and how you tend to react, so that you can plan something in to react in a different way. Okay. Okay, so someone said, I've not been organised enough with meals, so snacking and missing meals. So I know specifically for this person, time is a factor. So my advice is make this as simple as possible for yourself as you can. So stick to the same breakfast every day, have 1 or 2 lunches on rotation, and then all you need to plan is meals. And make sure you have some really simple shortcut type ingredients in when you're super busy like this to make it really easy for yourself. So think about things like stir fries. Most supermarkets do a deal on stir fries where you can get, the ready cut up meat, a sauce, the stir fry veg, and like noodles or rice, and it's a deal like £7 or something like that. That will take you at the most 15 minutes, and you could buy a couple of those, cook them, and have some for lunches as well. I had stir fry for my lunch today. Things like jacket potatoes, because you can whack it in the oven, or if you've got a microwave, you can microwave it and then crisp it up in the oven or the air fryer. Have it with tuna, have it with salad. Super quick, super easy. If you've got a timer on your oven, I do this all the time for jacket potatoes. I will set the timer to start cooking the jacket potato for me, so I don't even have to think about it. If you're not veggie, or actually, vegan, you can get, vegan steaks, but steaks or bits of fish with salad and, home fried wedges or whatever. Using things like microwavable rice packets instead of having to boil the rice, do things like that. Also, if it's available to you, some of my clients use things like Gusto and Mindful Chef and those food prep boxes, and you can select, the really quick and easy meals. And then also things like, on a Tuesday, when you're making Tuesday's dinner, make extra so that you've either got it for Wednesday or you've got some for lunch on Wednesday. So find yourself those things that are really, really going to help with your meal prep. And then the same person said about eating regularly. Now, I have a perfect example of this. So today I wanted to get my check-ins done before I had my lunch, and then after I had my lunch I wanted to do this, and my check-ins took me till 1:30, and that was too late for me to eat. And so I ate my lunch and I felt like it hadn't touched the sides. And an hour after eating it, I was still hungry. So eating regularly, I'd eaten my breakfast at 9 o'clock. So that was way too late. 4.5 hours for me is too long between meals. So after my lunch, I still wanted to snack on stuff because I still felt hungry. And I'll be honest, I'm still not my lunch was big enough. It was rice, chicken, loads of veggies. But because I just let myself get too hungry, I'm still feeling hungry now. So making sure that you are eating regularly and you're not leaving it too late between meals is really, really important. Okay, let's see. I think that is that is everything. So thank you very much for checking in, ladies. I kept it under an hour. Charlie will be home in about 15 minutes, which means I can help him. Happy days. Have an amazing week, everyone, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.